Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you are new here, I do all kinds of lifestyle videos, but I also like to talk about motherhood and budgeting. Those are two things that I tend to focus on right now because those are the two areas that I'm in the most. So if you're interested in those, please subscribe. Okay, the air conditioning should turn off in the background in just a second, but today I wanted to do a little monthly reset with me, kind of share some goals. I don't even remember the last time I did a goals video because mentally I've just not been there, you know? Sometimes we go through times in our life where that is just not something we can focus on. I feel like last year with being pregnant and being so sick, and then obviously having Ivy at the beginning or the end of last year, very end, December 30th, I just like, a goal to me was like, well, what does that mean? I did finally do some for August. I think in the future I might put this in with my monthly like budget with me, so let me know down below if that's something that you would like to see, but I think that that might make a little bit more sense. But I do want to give two little disclaimers. First of all, you guys, my baby is asleep in a nap right now. Not on me. My mother-in-law has gotten her to sleep in her crib and she left for the day, and Ben is out at the DMV, so I'm alone and I don't have the baby. Like, I'm very confused by this. Why has my air conditioner still not shut off? Anyways, the other thing that I want to point out that I probably shouldn't point out, because there goes the air conditioner, probably shouldn't point out because nobody probably would have noticed until now, but if it looks like I'm not moving this part of my mouth, it's because I'm not. I have like a gigantic canker sore right there, which I don't know, I haven't had canker sores in so long, and now I have like a whole bunch of them. If I'm talking kind of weirdly, it is because it hurts, but I still wanted to film this right now. So without further ado, let's get into my monthly little reset and goals that I have for this month. Let me know down below what is a goal that you have this month. Let me know a couple of your goals. I did the categories of financial, wellness, Ivy, and life. So let me know if you have any like financial or wellness goals that you have coming up. I would love to know, but let me know in the comments. So let's jump into my goals. First goals, we'll start with financial. So my first goal is to eat out less. So if you guys watch any of my budgeting videos, you know that that's where I struggle. I like to go out to eat. It is a habit. It's something that's really easy for me. It can be, to be honest, we spend more money on like smaller meals. So we rarely go out for like a nice meal. We just get like Indian takeout or bibimbap or Chipotle or something like that. So I'd like to do that less. I do have on here that I'm trying for a month without food out, but I don't know if it'll be like the whole month of August, just because I'll basically be starting that like soon, because I'm doing this like cleanse thing, which I'll tell you guys about in a minute. But eating out less with the goal of not eating out a whole month, or just like substantially lowering how much we eat out, just so it like stops being such a habit and could be something that's like fun again, you know? And then be more intentional with spending. Think about things before doing it. I'm on two sides of the coin with financial stuff. I either am so strict with myself that I don't let myself do anything, or I'm the opposite. And I feel like this last year with like Ben getting a job that was like in a big step up in finances, my business doing well, and just like stuff like that. With Ivy coming, I just like bought stuff. I was like on Amazon. Right now what it's been is like Target pickup. I just keep, and it's stuff that we like need, but we also don't necessarily need it all the time. Like, I'm constantly rebuying her formula because I'm like afraid it's gonna go out, like those types of things, which I guess that's not super bad, but just being more intentional with spending. So like sometimes I can see something that like an influencer's wearing and I'm like, yep, want that, and then I buy it without really thinking about it. So I just want to be more intentional about that kind of stuff. Our budget won't have to be super tight, but it is going to need to tighten just a little bit from what it was when we lived in Raleigh, because our expenses are much higher here. So that's just like, I want to get in that mindset of being more intentional so that I don't have to cut out things that I really love, like getting my nails done, or like going out to eat occasionally, or like going on trips or things like that. So just being a little bit more intentional with what I'm spending. Moving on to wellness. What I have in here is continue with Kelly Yeager's workout program. I have been doing her workout program now for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, and I really love it. I'm loving working out again, and I'm like so grateful and so excited about that. So I just want to keep consistent with that. Right now it's a workout program 4 days a week. I've been doing it except when I hurt my neck the last week, but otherwise I've continued doing it. Second, I want to walk once a day, weather and air permitting. So like today, air quality is really bad. It's like in the 90s. I'm not going for a walk outside, unfortunately. Maybe if I get a gym membership at some point, I can start like walking on the treadmill if I need to, but for right now, just walking in general more often. I want to focus on being gluten and dairy free. So I am starting a Metagenics like detox per my naturopath. That'll be about a 10-day program. So that'll really kickstart that. I have been eating mostly gluten-free. The dairy's been in and out. So I want to focus on being dairy and gluten-free in August. If you didn't know, I am gluten intolerant, plus I have a thyroid disorder, so eating less or no gluten is much better for my thyroid. And dairy is just one of those things that is inflammatory for most people, so I just don't want to eat a lot of it. It doesn't really bother me very often, but I was on like a Dairy Queen kick. Need to stop that. Next up, I have be more cautious with sugar and caffeine. I know sugar is like also inflammatory for me. It can kind of mess with my blood sugar. So I want to be just a little bit more cautious with like the snacks I'm eating. It's really easy to eat a lot of like pre-packaged foods as a mom. And I am not down, like there's nothing wrong with that. I do that all the time, but I would just like to be a little bit more cautious. Try to eat a little bit, I hate saying cleaner, but just eat a little bit less processed food, which will help with less sugar. And then also watching my caffeine. I've just noticed that I've been drinking, you know, 2 coffees a day. I drink a lot of creamer, and then I'm having like a soda, or some days I've even had 3 coffees a day. I don't need that much caffeine. I do really well with like 1 coffee a day, if that. I was like, I drink decaf for over a year, like my whole pregnancy. I don't really need the caffeine. I think right now, because Ivy's sleep is a little bit off and I love the ritual of coffee in the morning, I don't want to get rid of that, but I might switch back to decaf. We'll see after this like detox thing, because I'm not drinking caffeine during that, so that might just switch me back over to decaf in general. My last thing on wellness is mental health related. If you guys have watched the channel for a while, you know that I was diagnosed with OCD. It was brought on by my birth trauma. So my birth trauma pulled out this big hit of OCD that I'm going through right now, but I'm learning that I have had OCD tendencies my whole life. I just didn't have a trauma that triggered it. So OCD tends to be triggered, I believe, I'm not an expert, but by some sort of trauma and or like family with like genetics, like that kind of thing. A lot of people might have some form of OCD, or like I don't want to say a lot, but like there's probably a lot of people that don't know that they have forms of OCD until if it ever gets bad, which is where mine was, where I'm not leaving the house, I'm not doing certain things that I love to do because of my OCD. Mine is mostly intrusive thoughts, which is something that happens to a lot of moms. OCD postpartum is actually very prominent, but my intrusive thoughts have stopped me from like doing a lot of things. I'm afraid of a lot of stuff. And then I do have like the compulsions that you talked about. I feel like when you see OCD on TV, you see like people washing their hands all the time or doing specific things. Not all OCD is like that. Like I do have compulsions, but I'm not like knocking on something 3 times. For me, I'm like checking. I keep checking and checking and checking and checking, and I can't stop checking. So I'm going into exposure therapy, which basically is just learning how to expose myself to the things that I'm afraid of, which right now are things like going for a walk, going anywhere with Ivy by myself. Really anything outside of the house is kind of scary to me right now. I have a lot of anxiety around it. And then there's a couple of other things. So my goal this month is to really focus on exposure therapy with OCD with my new therapist, and hopefully continue to feel better mentally. I'm in a much better place mentally now than I was even a couple of weeks ago when we moved here. So I think things are finally on the up and up, and I'm really grateful for that. My next section is Ivy. So Ivy is my daughter. She is almost 7 months old, which is crazy to me. She will be 7 months old at the beginning of August. Some of my goals for her and me in August are to get outside at least once a day with her. She loves being outside, even if it's just in our backyard, because I'm not 100% comfortable going places with her by myself. I am grateful that we have this big backyard. I'm pointing at it right now, but you can't see it. I am excited that we have this big backyard that I can take her out into. The next goal is to really focus on solids and purees. We have not been doing that as much as we should. I also want to look into like possibly making some of my own. That may not be feasible with where I'm at right now, but I want to like look into it. And then the third thing is to try to take her to something new a couple of times. So that could be meeting a new person, that could be going to a new place for a walk, that could be going out to eat with her. We've never taken her out to eat with us, so I just want to continue to like put her out and let her experience new things. I don't want her to not do things because of where my mental health is, and like some of that will just happen. But usually if I do stuff with Ben, I'm better. So we'll see, between the OCD exposure therapy and then just like being with Ben, hopefully we can get some fun stuff done this month being August. And then my last section is life, and this is just like kind of a catch-all. But the first thing I have is read 2 books. I would like to read more, but I'm trying to set a realistic goal. I have this goal that I was supposed to read 75 books by the end of the year. I've read 3. It's almost August. So I'm not really sure if that's going to happen or not, but I do want to just get in the habit of reading again. My Kindle's back there. I also have a new hardcover book that I bought because it goes with a I'm looking at my bookshelf, but it goes with a, what's it called, like a series that I already had. So I want to reread that series and then read that book. So I have a couple of them on the docket. I just tend to, when I want to like chill, I tend to go to YouTube because I love creating, but I also love watching YouTube. So, and I don't think that's a bad thing, but I just would like to get into reading a little bit more. My second life reset, or like a goal for next month, is to get ready at least twice a week. I am currently ready. I actually did my hair in these little crimps yesterday. I put on some makeup. And when I say get ready, I mean like do makeup and put on an outfit. That's not for everybody. I just feel better that way, and I'm really feeling down about where my body is at, both weight-wise and just like health-wise in general. So I really want to focus on that and how that can make me feel a little bit better. My third one is meditate or quiet time once a day. This is something that my therapist really wants me to be intentional about. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go right into meditation, but I would like to at least do some quiet time if I'm not doing meditation. And my last goal is to get up by 7, but I did put dependent on Ivy's sleep. If she doesn't sleep all night, I'm not gonna get up at 7. So I would love, in the grand scheme of things, to be up closer to like 6 or 6:30. Right now, that's just not feasible. I'm like up normally at like 7, unless, well, Ivy usually wakes me up before that, but usually Ben takes her and then I get up. So I would say 7 is a good starting point, and then hopefully in the next couple months I can get that lower and lower, especially if I start going to the gym, because I'll probably have to do that in the mornings. So, but I want to start slowly. So those are my goals for August, all kind of focused around my wellness, movement, my mental health, and just things that can help me not only be like the best mom, but be the best me. I'm in like this new phase of life where I feel like right before I got pregnant, I was going through a really deep depression stage, and I just started getting out of it, and then I got pregnant and I was so sick, and then pregnancy was just pretty hard on me, and then I gave birth, and then learning how to be a mom and how to be how to work while I also have a baby that I take care of, moving across the country, like all of that stuff. It's been a lot for us in the last couple of years, but particularly me, and I haven't been able to focus on the things that I love. I quite honestly don't even remember what I love anymore, so I just really want to focus on that in August, and I'm excited. This is the first time I've made like a goals list in a year, maybe 2 years. So yeah, I'm excited to see where that takes me. But thank you so much for listening to this video, for watching. I hope that you enjoyed seeing what I'm planning to do in August. If there's anything you'd like me to add to these videos in the future, let me know. I know you guys really enjoy vlog style videos, but wanted to do this little sit down one real quick. But I'm gonna let you go because my mouth is killing me from talking for so long. I can't believe that Ivy is still asleep. I'm like, what do I even do with myself? Hopefully the dogs don't wake her up. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.